Hi, Cinnamon and Watermelon Group. This is Miss Crater here, and we are doing Reading Mastery at Home. Reading Mastery at Home will go the same way as if we were in the classroom. You are going to follow along with me and respond on signal. We are going to start on lesson 76, and even though I know some of you may have done 76 already, we're just going to go back and do a refresh on it. Okay, touch sentence 20. This is a new vocabulary sentence. It says, the job required a consultant. Everybody read that sentence. Get ready. Good. Close your eyes and say the sentence. Get ready. Things that are required are needed. If 4 eggs are required, 4 eggs are needed. What's another way of saying a large truck was needed? Good. A large truck was required. A consultant is a person who is hired for a special job. Some consultants are hired to help businesses figure out how to save money. Some consultants are hired to teach people how to work faster. Listen to the sentence again. The job required a consultant. Everybody say the sentence. Get ready. Good. Everybody, what do we call a person who is hired for a special job? Yes, consultant. What word means needed? Yes, required. Good job. Now we are going to go into words. Find column 1. Word 1 is objected. What word? When you argue that something is wrong, you object to that thing. Here's another way of saying she argued that the law was wrong. She objected to the law. Your turn. What's another way of saying she argued that the law was wrong? Good. Word 2 is require. What word? Word 3 is consultant. What word? Word 4. What word? Yes, shadows. Word 5. What word? Yes, aware. Word 6. What word? Yes, half aware. When you are half aware of something, you are not paying much attention to it. So here's another way of saying she was not paying much attention to the voices. She was half aware of the voices. Your turn. What's another way of saying she was not paying much attention to the voices? Good. Let's read those words again the fast way. Word 1, what word? Word 2, what word? Word 3, what word? Word 4, what word? Word 5, what word? Word 6, what word? Very good. Find column 2. These words have more than one syllable. The first syllable is underlined. Word 1, what's the first syllable? What's the whole word? Spell sticky. Get ready. Good. Word 2, what's the first syllable? What's the whole word? Spell tingles. Get ready. Good. Word 3, what's the first syllable? What's the whole word? Spell purple. Get ready. Good. Word 4. What's the first syllable? What's the whole word? Spell dizzy. Get ready. Word 5. What's the first syllable? What's the whole word? Spell bumper. Get ready. Very good. Column 3. Number 1. What words make sense? When things don't make sense to you, they are not at all clear to you. Here's another way of saying the story was not at all clear to her. The story did not make sense to her. Your turn. What's another way of saying the story was not at all clear to her? Good. What's another way of saying the report was not at all clear to them? Very good. The report did not make sense to them. Number 2, what words? In a fog. When a person is in a fog, a person's thoughts are not very clear. Word 3, what word? Yes, 21. Word 4, what word? Yes, wood. Word 5, what word? Yes, cottonwood. Good job. Column 4. Word 1, what word? Faint. When you pass out, you faint. Everybody, what do people do when they pass out? Correct. Word 2, what word? Yes, breathe. Word 3, what word? Yes, upper. Word 4, what word? Yes, brand. Word 5, what word? Yes, studied. Word 6, what word? Yes, confused. Very good. Now I want you to take the time and pause the video, look at the words, and say column 1, 2, 3, and 4 to yourself because these words are going to be in the story. Pause now. Now we're going to move on to the story. Inside a hot van. We are going to do this a little bit differently than we would in the classroom. Usually in the classroom, I would call on individual students to take turns to read. However, since we are doing Reading Master at Home, you are going to pause the video, read the story, and then I'm going to press play and go to another section for you to read all the way till you get to the end. When you are finished reading, Miss Crater is going to read. So I want you to focus on you reading this story now. When I say pause, pause the video and begin reading. Pause. Pause. Pause the video. Pause. 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 Good Good job reading this story. Now we're going to go back up to the top, and Miss Crater is going to read. And while Miss Crater is reading, I want you to follow along with me. I may still ask some questions in the middle of reading. Inside a hot van. Maria's van was waiting at the gate, and Bertha was starting to feel sick from the heat under the blanket. At last, a voice outside the van said, "Drive to building 21. To get there, keep right." Everybody, what's building 21? I'm sorry, everybody, what building? Yes, I did say that answer. All right, which way do they have to keep turning to get there? Good. Who do you think told them the directions? Right, the guards. Back to the story. The voice continued to give directions. Bertha didn't hear the rest of the directions. Bertha was starting to talk to herself. "Let's go," she said. "Let's get moving." She didn't talk loud enough for anybody to hear her. But she knew that if the van was moving, the air in the van wouldn't stay so hot. Let's go. Everybody, was she sure that things would get better when the van moved? No. What do you think will happen? If you said Bertha will faint, you are correct. Let's continue. The van went to building 21. Bertha could tell by the smells that building 21 was near other buildings. The smell of the oil was so strong that anybody could smell it. Building 21 was one of the buildings that refined the crude oil. The van doors opened. Maria and the chief got out of the van. They talked to two men. Bertha knew that one of these men was Mr. Daniels. She didn't know the other man. Suddenly, Bertha realized that Maria had parked the van in the sun. The temperature inside the van was going up. It was already so hot that Bertha couldn't stand it. The air seemed thick and hard to breathe. Now it was getting even hotter. Bertha was starting to breathe hard. Her body was wet and sticky. Follow along with me. The voices outside faded as Maria and the others went into building 21. For a long time, nothing happened except the heat continued to pound against Bertha. Suddenly, Bertha caught the smell of Maria. She was near the van, but she wasn't alone. The man that had been with Mr. Daniels was next to Maria. Water. Yes, there was a smell of water. Maria was holding a container of water close to the back of the van. Question time. Think hard. Where was Maria? Right near her van. What was she holding? Yes, a container of water. Who was with her? The man who had been with Mr. Daniels. Correct. Good job following along. Follow along with me. Bertha heard the man say something about going back inside. Maria answered a loud voice. "I want to look at the water in the sunlight." Bertha knew that was a lie. The water was from the creek, but Bertha couldn't say anything while the other man was around. Question. Bertha found out something was important. What was it? Right, that the water was from the creek. Good. Follow along with me. Wow, Bertha said out loud. She was starting to feel dizzy. Her hands and feet felt strange. She was starting to see purple dots that she knew were not actually there. Then, without knowing it, she yelled out near the barn. She was only half aware that she said anything. The words didn't make any sense to her, and she didn't know what made her say them. She was in a fog made up of purple dots, tangles, and a feeling that everything was falling. The back door of the van was open. The blanket was gone and the hot sun was beating down on Bertha. Two forms were close to her. One was Maria. Her face was very close to Bertha's. Her mouth was moving and sounds were coming from it. Bertha noticed that Maria had a little scar on her upper lip. "All right. Are you all right?" Maria's voice said. "Trying to do," the man's voice said angrily. "What are you trying to do here? Who is this girl?" "I'm getting Mr. Daniels right now." Bertha sat up. Maria's arms were around her. Bertha was starting to feel better. "I'm sorry she said that. I think I fainted from the heat." "It's all right," Maria said. "Don't try to talk. Just take it easy for a few minutes." Three men walked quickly from the building. 21. Mr. Daniels, the chief, and the man who had been with Maria. The man said she was hiding in the van. "I don't know what they are trying to do." The three men stopped near the van. Two of their shadows fell on Bertha. Maria's chief said, "Maria, what is this all about?" More next time. Now everybody touch the shadows in the picture. Do the shadows make the back of the van cooler or hotter? Yes, cooler. Do you think those shadows felt good to Bertha? Yes, why? Because they will cool her off. Very good. I hope you had a fun time with me for our first day of reading mastery. At any time, you can always go back into the video and pause and read the story that you want. I would say about 3 times a day would be best. And we're going to continue our reading mastery at home. See you soon.